But in late August, the U.S. Department of Energy sent a letter to some big oil and gas CEOs with a bit of a warning. Prioritize building U.S. inventories now or risk unspecified federal emergency actions. Let's talk more about this and the export market and dig deeper with RBN Energy CEO Rusty Brazil, well known to the Mad Money and Jim Cramer family. Rusty, it's good to have you on. I'll try to do my best to make up where Jim left off. And I mean, we talk about the stocks, the Tellurians, the Cheniers, which is ticker LNG, Sempra Energies of the world. But how critical is U.S. liquefied natural gas to blunting everything we're talking about Putin doing in Europe?
Absolutely critical, Brian. We are, as you said, exporting a lot of LNG right now. Just last week, we put 18 cargoes on the water. At least 10 of those went to Europe. Probably another 4 went to Europe. And we would be exporting more if we hadn't have lost one of the LNG export facilities, Freeport, about 3 months ago. And that already has cut about 50 cargoes out of the market.
By the way, do we still know really what happened at Freeport?
Well, we know that there was a fire. It was a fire in the wrong place, and therefore the unit was down. But in terms of the details, I really don't know the specific details of the damage.
Yeah, I mean, in that Freeport, that LNG, Freeport's a private company here, you know,
Right.
And it's a huge company. Do you feel like there could be a risk to U.S. energy, LNG and or oil exports? I mean, the Department of Energy, and I understand what they're doing. They're basically saying, hey, make sure we in America have enough of our own energy in winter before we ship it around the world. I can see their point of view.
Absolutely. But obviously, we are exporting a lot of energy right now. And if we weren't exporting that energy, what would be happening in the international markets today? Crude oil prices would be back to the $120. Natural gas prices would be off the scale. So effectively, because we are operating in a global marketplace, it's a necessity that we continue to export the way we are right now. In terms of how that's going to play out with what the administration has said, you don't know. But my guess is that not much different is going to happen by the time we get into the winter season.
Okay. You know, there's this, and I'm rubbing my eyes, Rusty, because I'm tired of the political fight. This shouldn't be a political issue, but everything's political now, where you get one side saying one thing and the other side saying the other. And I understand why tens of millions of Americans are caught in the middle, think I don't understand the energy business. I don't have any idea who's right, who's telling me the truth, or sort of, let's say, playing a little bit fast and loose. Can you explain to our audience in plain Texan English, whatever that is, what the difference between a lease and a permit is? Because all we hear is, oh, there's all these leases and no one's doing anything. And then the industry says, well, I got leases, but I can't permit it, so I can't build. What's the difference?
Well, I'm going to get to your specific question in a second, but in my opinion, this is not nearly as big a deal as it's being made by either side. So a lease means that I own a right in order to produce hydrocarbons off of a particular plot of land, effectively the resources that are underneath a particular plot of land. I have to have that lease in order to be able to produce those hydrocarbons, and I'm probably leasing that from a farmer or from the descendant of somebody who owned that property years and years ago. But I cannot drill the well until I have a permit to drill the well. So the permit is the permit to drill and complete. The lease gives me the right to the hydrocarbons under the ground.
So is there anybody that's right, or are they both kind of telling the truth?
I think they're both kind of telling the truth. The reality is there's a lot of things that are keeping production in the United States, basically keeping a cap on production in the United States. And that's issues like I can't hire enough people. I've got supply chain issues on equipment. I've got capital restraint that public company, the Wall Street, wants me to pay dividends rather than drill more wells. So all of those things are contributing, and we've got this lease and permit issue that's just added up on top of it.
It's just matter. It's rhetoric, political rhetoric at its finest on both sides, by the way. I tip my cap. Rusty Brazil, I tip my cap to you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Brian.